Well, chaps, let's start at the beginning. I think if we're going to have a discussion, summer was maybe a strange summer from a Queen's Park Rangers point of view, having had promotion. And then that Bolton game, beaten heavily at home on the opening day of the season. Well, the concerns, because there seem to be a few concerns, a few nerves knocking around as a consequence of maybe that first game.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if it had been Manchester United 4-1, I think people would have said expected, but this was Bolton after all, and they were considered to be, along with a few others, those who would struggle this season. And they are struggling, as it turns out. So when you get beat 4-1 on the opening day, you've got to be worried, haven't you?
I think that strangeness not only started at the beginning of the season, I think you could probably trace it back to the end of last season with all the points fiasco and the Football League fiasco. I think that sort of set the tone for what was a summer where what should have been a celebration. I didn't quite feel there was much celebrating going on, given that there should have been. That QPR done fantastically well winning the title, and yet there seemed to be a shadow over the club.
I think everybody knows that essentially the previous owners didn't want to spend any money, and whereas you would have had that summer normally where players would have been coming in because they'd been signed on this or that or the other, the fact of the matter remains that there was this internal struggle over who would be allowed in, who they would afford, and who they could, want to obviously let go as well. And I think that overshadowed a great deal. And as you rightly say, there was no celebration, official or otherwise. No, in fact, there was. We got a call from one guy who wanted to hold an unofficial celebration on Shepherd's Bush Green, and we called the police and said, "Can we do this sort of thing? What's going on?" You can't do it. It's poor support, had to call in all the troops literally to abandon something which would have been a public disorder.
And that was shameful, wasn't it? I felt as well. It was a feat that deserved celebrating.
Yeah. Well, especially when you recall what happened with after the win at Hillsborough, with Sheffield Wednesday and promotion into the second flight.
Yes.
And obviously impromptu celebrations outside the Bush Ranger, as it was of those days, and then obviously the victory celebration. Tony. Yeah, I mean it was a little bit flat, but that 4-0. I mean, is it sometimes you looked at that? I don't know, because obviously you saw it, and if you saw the game, you'd sort of think it wasn't a great result, but actually did the result flatter Bolton maybe a bit more? Were the panic? Where there was a little bit too much panic maybe from the performance.
The first 40 minutes or so it was very even. Then Bolton scored a great goal, but it was a wake-up call for Rangers because it was a fantastic promotion-winning team. We thought they'd go on and do well. They honestly weren't good enough. So it was from that moment onwards. Everybody realised they needed to strengthen, and with Tony Fernandes coming in and 5 new signings, it probably in reflection was just what the club needed to kick on.
I'd agree with that. I think with hindsight that could turn out to be one of the best results of the season for you. I think it focused everyone on the fact that the Premier League is a tough league.